Alright, so the game plan, if it isn't already totally obvious, is we're going to do a quick run through this excellent game, hour and a half long, feels amazing, and basically just give a few pointers, pieces of advice aimed at our newest addition to the team, Smiley Smile. Let's check it out. Oh. Okay, very cute.
Absolutely dying to see who you will ban. In fact, it's killing me.
Alright, so we will start. I'll do free camera for this. Okay, so looks like we got the courier. We got at least one ward. Have you given it to anybody? You have. Feels great. You gave him a sentry as well. Great. So we'll just start going for now.
It's in the bag.
It is in the bag.
Prepare for battle.
This
To
one
player perspective.
sure you're but the lamentation.
In the bag.
Sniper being homophobic. That feels good.
You fought well and true.
It was your own
Can skip this
damn
part a little bit.
bag.
Already got your battle pass laughing going.
It's in the bag.
Okay, so here we're gonna place our ward.
Steady now. 30 seconds
This is
until
telling you
we
where
are
to place
tested by
it.
combat.
Place it right here. Now, what Mitch should have done. Oh, he doesn't have his quelling blade. If you quelling blades down this tree, you get way more vision out of this. You get the whole angle here, but that's fine.
Here they come. Let's go.
So you're saving your sentry ward till we actually get into lane. That's fine. Go into play perspective and see what you're doing. So if I were you right now, the first thing I would do is not stand down here where you're at. I would walk up. Free camera. I would walk up to here, right? You walk up here, you get to see if they place a ward, a sentry ward, anything, and that gives you an advantage to deward them if need be. So, start the laning phase. Pretty straightforward here. First thing I'm seeing is you got to be right-clicking the enemy heroes when you can. So, enemy creeps aggro at a certain distance, right? So if you get close enough to the creeps when you attack, right-click the enemy, they will aggro to you. So basically what you want to do is you want to walk in such a way that you don't draw the aggro, necessarily, of the creeps. I see at this point, you pulled them under tower. So Mitch is going to miss all these last hits, because he sucks, but also because it's harder to last it under tower. So you don't really want to be... Good deny. You don't really want to be pulling the creeps if you don't have to. So at this point, the creep wave is pulled up. So Mitch may have talked to you about doing what's called a jungle pull, right? Which is where you go into the jungle over here and have these creeps aggro you. You come down, and then the lane creeps over here follow you into the jungle. That's a little bit more advanced, so you don't have to worry too much about that right now. But for now, what you're doing right now is basically nothing, right? When you're standing down here and just kind of like walking, that's really not doing anything. All you're actually doing is sapping experience from your carry in lane, which is kind of not good. So what you could be doing is you could walk up through this jungle over here, walk up through, and be right-clicking, especially the Magnus, who has no way of retaliating, right? Yeah, you gotta watch out for the sniper. The sniper can right-click you, that sucks. But the fact that he's able to just both of them are basically walking around without facing much repercussions, that's not so great. Bench has 5 armor, which means that 23% of all physical damage you take is reduced to 0, basically. You only take 76% of the damage that you should, or that you would if you had no armor. So that's really good. I mean, you look at Terrorblade's got really high armor. He's got 11 armor, but Magnus, he's only got 3 armor. Extra 3 is under tower. Sniper's got 3 armor, right? So if you're just right-clicking, he's got 45 attack. He's got 47 attack, right? If you're just right-clicking each other, you win that, right? Especially against this Magnus, where he can't necessarily right-click you. Now, your range isn't that good on bench, but you definitely have the ability to be harassing, especially the sniper, a lot more. Your Wave of Terror only costs 25 mana, and you get a little under 1 mana a second. That means every 30 seconds, basically, you get a free wave of Terror. So using up your mana is really not a bad thing. So as long as you're hitting them and not hitting the creep wave, you Wave of Terror, right click, that's a decent amount of damage, right? It's 80 magic damage, plus, I mean, 150 right click. So that adds up over time, right? So once you start shrapneling, this comes the part where you really want to have the lane control. Standing in shrapnel level 1 isn't that bad because you're only taking like we're only taking 15 damage a second, but it really adds up when you get to 35 because it lasts for 10 seconds, right? That's 350 magic damage. It gets level 3, suddenly you're taking 550 magic damage if you stand in it the whole time. Like, that's a lot. I'm just gonna build this treads, that's fine. So, yeah. I don't know if I really want to get into... Nice one, Mitchell.
Energies.
I don't know if I really want to get into the... pulling the creeps from jungle or not. Hey, nice job, me. I did great, Kappa.
Toast.
But, yeah, the main thing is in this laning phase, just the harass, making sure that you're not just pulling creeps under tower. Because that original, when you think about it, that original pull under tower that happened, right, that pushed the wave all the way out to here. Ooh, nice go, nice go. Yeah, watch out for the shrapnel. Now, let's talk about this actually for a second. If you had, back up. Now, we're going to talk about this real quick and then we're going to skip ahead a little bit. So, you see the sniper, he sees at full health. Now, if you've been harassing him down and he's at 3/4 health, regardless of anything else, if everything else is exactly the same, you get a kill here, right? He's at full health right now. That's, free camera. Sorry, this is hard. So, he's sitting at full health. You're actually not at full health. Mitch isn't at full health. So, this game's a little bit questionable. Let's slow it down even more. So you walk up past the creep wave. Now, you are... Mitch has pulled the creeps backwards, right? So Mitch is basically already not on the same page as you, right? If we're going to do an aggressive play like this, you kind of need to be on the same page. Like, hey, I think I'm going to go in sniper, right? And that allows you to walk past the wave without right-clicking on sniper, because once you right-click on sniper, the creeps will start aggroing you, right? So at this point, you're already past the creep wave. So kind of from here on out, you kind of really have to either commit or not commit. The Wave of Terror is really long, so if all you wanted to do here was this Wave of Terror the sniper, you could have done it from like back here, you know? Like the actual like radius that you have to do it is really, really big. But you wave of Terror him. Is shrapnel even going right now? I don't know why shrapnel is showing on you, but whatever. So you wave of Terror, you back off, right? Then Mitch walks forward, you walk forward, and then stun. So your wave of terror is half over at this point already. Mitch hasn't popped meta. Mitch hasn't popped reflection. So it's already a little bit questionable. If you had immediately stunned and been right clicking the whole time, right? We'll count how much damage you do per right click here. So that's one click on a creep. Know that. So every right click you do is 60 damage, right? So you did one right click on a creep, one right click where you didn't right click but you walked away. So that's already 120 damage, right? Wrong button. So he lives with 164 HP, right? So if you right click him 2 more times, that's 40 HP. If Mitch is in position and hits basically the whole time as well, that's an easy kill. But unfortunately, it was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's really, it's kind of like commit or don't commit and that kind of thing. But it's an interesting situation where you saw the possibility of a play and you made the play, and the play was actually not a bad play. You definitely could have killed the sniper there, which would have been huge for your lane. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is, because he's able to shrapnel, which is a really good turnaround device for sniper, it kind of means that you guys get fucked here. Running back into the shrapnel, obviously that's not really the dream. And if you had walked directly to the left, let's just do. So they do have a ward here actually the whole time. They placed that one. They must have only placed this a little bit ago. Magnus must have placed it or something. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Point is that if you had run straight out of the shrapnel, it would have been a lot better there. But it's okay. We're still learning, living, loving, all that good shit.
Shocking.
Gonna sit with Mitch in lane until you come back. What are you doing in base? So you spawn.
What the?
Alright, so you're watching Mitchell in lane. You've spawned. You're waiting. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a mystery. You're complaining to Mitchell about something. And now you're walking. See, I was gonna say, walking to lane is actually not even the worst there, because it means that you are able to TP elsewhere if need be, right? You could have TP'd to this fight top, maybe. Watch will feed. Later dog. Kid's dead for sure, right? Smiley smile. God, what a god gamer. Alright. Oh, what did I miss down here? Sorry, I got distracted by the memes. So we're right clicking. Good stun. You shouldn't see, if you run perfectly perpendicular, you would have been out of that in time, and you might have even lived there, honestly. That's okay. Mitch is still farming. We can look at Worth. Losing to an Earthshaker. Lol. Mitch is actually edging out the sniper even with the kills, so that's fine. So you're walking a lane, that's fine. Mitch is going to feed here because he didn't press my reflection fast enough. Smiley smile. Where are
Made
you?
a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, so this was definitely a mistake. We won't dwell on this, but if you had just either waited for Mitchell to be up or TP to a more safe position like behind the tower, I think it would have been a lot better. Andy's trying to go for some kind of cute play here, but what the fuck am I doing?
Tower is under siege.
Oh, there we go. Top of the net worth. That's what I like to see. Smiley smile. Alright, so Mitch popped meta for that, so he kind of wants to get more. He still power treads and strength for some reason instead of. Oh, instead of agility, like you should be. That's okay too. Are you walking back to lane? That's fine. That's all
Dire's
good.
bottom tower is under siege.
So I would say in general, right, when you have the sentry ward, if you put it in this general area, as long as you're not blocking this camp here, that's pretty good. A lot of times the wards will be here, here, or like here. So putting the sentry ward right around here, it kind of gives you like the general vision that you want, or the counter vision in this case. But unfortunately, because the harassment. So this is kind of how Dota goes. Basically, is the laning phase is really critical. That was really good. That was a really good wave of terror. So the early game is super critical because a little bit of early game pressure can result in like a real snowball effect, right? So these guys, now that they hit 6 before you guys did, so they get hooked from Andy. Mitch, why is he not making any conjure images? My reflection. My reflection. My reflection.
Offending comment.
The fucking wand charges too. God damn it, Mitchell. So you can see basically that a little bit of a difference in lane, basically getting to level 6 first, gave him a huge advantage, and very funny. It really gave him a huge advantage over you guys in lane because it allowed Sniper to be using his ultimate. Got a haste ring, there's no way you can catch him, that really sucks. But yeah, it allowed Sniper to be using his ultimate, just have a little bit extra level of shrapnel. Just look at that sentry ward just hanging out. I'm seeing if there's any fighting I can do. I decide not to. This guy's good pinging. Good pinging. So you got your boots, which is really good. So at this point, there are a lot of things you can be doing. You kind of do need to be here to help defend Mitchell. It's just a very scary kind of lane because, yeah, because they can just do that to you over and over again. So you got your little spirit. Yeah, get back here. Okay. You know, you're alive, right? Honestly, no joke. Oh no. Be careful. Honestly, and this is not being mean or whatever. The amount of time that you sat in base honestly cost you from getting 6 a minute earlier, and if you had 6 a minute earlier, you would have died 2 less times. So, yeah, unfortunately, again, the really aggressive TP with no backup, Sniper is just a hero that can just lay down shrapnel, and you're not fast enough to be able to, like, abuse that. So because the Sniper went Midas, we really should be able to heavily pressure him. fuck am I even doing here?
Radiant's top tower
Why am I
is under
not
attack.
putting my mithril hammer in my backpack? I am.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
Fucking wolves. God damn it, dude. Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna
Radiant's
die.
middle tower has fallen.
That was rough. Alright, so the long trek back. So the issue is that you are really under level at this point. Yeah. So you're down here with Mitchell. You guys, at this point, probably what we should have done is we should have, I don't know if we should, some kind of lane swap. Cast your spells. Oh no, you started TPing! Ah!
I guess.
Okay.
This is game over. Thanks
That was
for
just a
playing,
misclick. It
Dota.
happens to the best of
Double
us.
kill.
And the worst of us like me. Trust me. That
Mega kill.
was pretty good. I like
Double
that.
kill.
So that's a misclick. That happens. You're just getting used to hotkeys. It's no big deal. But why am I pussying out from this fight? Oh, I have no mana. Where are you at? Alright, so one thing to focus on, if nothing else, is when you respawn, make sure that you're either walking to lane or TPing to lane or something, because you've definitely spent like probably 60 seconds of this game just sitting in nice, dude. You spent like 60 seconds of the game just sitting in Fountain so far.
Dire structures are fortified.
So
Dire's bottom tower is under
I don't know
siege.
about the ward situation yet. What I would strongly recommend you do is put all the observer wards in queue. I think it's shift click them or something like that, and they'll appear down here whenever they're able to buy. Those wards are really critical. Right now we've got no wards on the
Dire's
map,
top tower is under attack.
so we really have no vision of what the enemy's doing. Right? If I quickly turn on
This won't be pretty.
just a radiant, we only have vision of one hero on the entire map right now.
We now return to our regularly scheduled car. Dire's top tower
Right.
is under attack.
What about this? Okay. So we really have no vision
If you were a millennial, I'd say wicked sick.
of any of the heroes, which is slightly problematic. So 700 HP here. Yeah. So if we had a ward, I'm actually gonna pause right there. So if we had a ward, right here, right? We see this Earthshaker. Yeah, we have a ward right here. We see this Earthshaker coming in. Mitch doesn't die here. Mitch just leaves, right? But because we don't have any vision here, and in fact we have no vision of any of the heroes on the map except for the Lycan who we just killed mid, right? He's able to reveal the Blink Dagger and get a sick combo, killing one, killing two. I came in, but
Hello.
it was a
this is
mistake.
Dave. Thanks for playing Dota 2.
I could have dodged that, but I'm bad. I live here, I think. Later. What an idiot.
Monster kill.
Do I live here? Ooh! Fuck, dude. Where are you? I'm supposed to be teaching you about things. Alright, so... Yeah. Right now, you're... I lied, it was 20 HP.
They've made a
88.
beeline for Radiant's bottom tower.
So, I think there, you definitely could have afforded to TP in. Your swap might have been able to catch a sniper out. It's no big deal that you went back to buy a TP, I imagine, buy something. But again, if you have your items queued up ahead of time, right, then you kind of have a better idea, like, oh, I've got some gold, what should I be buying? So the main thing I would say is make sure that you're keeping the observer wards out of stock. You're always buying as many as you can, right, and placing them in ward spots. Now, what are ward spots? Ward spots actually, if you go near them, they actually, if you go with them with a ward, they actually like highlight a little bit. But basically, in the early game, you're gonna want wards that can see these runes. Oh my god, what the fuck's going on over here? Oh, that was dangerous. You can want wards. If you kind of look at the enemy team, right? They've got ward here, really aggressively looking at our jungle. So Mitch goes to farm these camps, he gets killed, right? They got defensive vision up here, right, to stop us ganking their top. That didn't really work out for them, but whatever, right? At this point, if we were trying to be defensive, we're going to want defensive vision, right? Like here, that's a good defensive ward. If they come in our jungle, we see it, right? Another one is on top of here. If you see this little icon, that always means like a good ward spot. This is defensive because if they come in through here, they come in through here, we got vision of the heroes as they come in. But that's one big core issue, is not buying enough wards. Obviously this is just something you just kind of gotta learn. But you've got your tranquil boots, you've got your magic wand. At this point, you're kind of standing around Mitchell to defend him, do a defensive swap if need be. That's perfect. That's great. The issue is that you kind of stay a little bit too long. Either you're going to be standing with Mitchell, or you're going to go with someone else. Now, because we've got such a mobile mid hero and Ember Spirit, you kind of can't really follow him. So your best bet is really just to be focusing on warding, de-warding. If you see someone in trouble, you can TP to go and help them, right? All the waves are kind of pushed out, so there's not really anywhere to go. The other thing you can do at this point is you can group up with Andy, position 4, Pudge this game, but typically there gets to a point in the game where it's like the position 4 wants to go around and gank. So if our carry's sufficient and happy, like self-sufficient and happy like Mitchell is, he's going to be able to just kind of farm fine if he's got the vision, right? We don't really have the vision right now, but that's okay. Here's another word spot, by the way, in case I didn't point that one out. So at this point, like, everyone is up top fighting, right? Everyone's up here doing this whole fight. Mitch is farming, which is great, perfect, but you're kind of like not doing anything. So either be defensively around Mitchell, or the safe lane, whoever the safe lane carry is, or you can be more aggressive with the rest of the team as 4, right? I didn't really talk about the runes in lane, but it's one of those things where every 5 minutes the rune spawns in these little rune spots. Really try to get it. It gives gold to everyone on the team, so it's really good. That's just another one of those things where it's like one of 100,000 things you got to learn to play this game. I wouldn't worry too much about it. We can spam runes in chat for you. So at this point, again, we're really suffering from lack of vision. We don't really know where anyone is. They all show in the creep rate bottom, so that's good. At this point, someone yelled at you to buy wards, so it looks like you're buying some wards. I think Andy was starting to buy the wards. Okay. So again, wandering. So if you were up here with the Pudge, right, you could be at this fight. Looks like coming to the fight, looking to defensively swap somebody if need be. Wave of Terror here would have been super good. You got it up eventually, no problem. At this point, oh yeah, you can't walk through that wall, by the way. At this point, you want to save the swap really defensively. So you could have swapped either the sniper. Oh my god, I kept that guy being so fucking stupid. There you want to either swap the sniper or swap Mitchell to stop him from dying. Mitchell should have just lived there because he could have used his ultimate to survive. But that's one where you kind of want to be in a position to use your abilities, right? So you leave the fight full health, full mana. It kind of feels like, oh wait, well what did I do in that fight? That's okay. Going forward, mounting somewhat of a push mid. Now the issue is that we don't really have a lot of vision of the enemy heroes. What you can always do on Vengeful Spirit in particular is cast your Wave of Terror on a creep wave. The minus armor plus the damage will cause the creep wave to push, which is at this point in the game what you want to do. We want to be pushing out the lanes. We want to be taking their towers, even if it's just passively, right? That's a really big advantage. So right there, you did unfortunately block the camp there. That's another thing you just watch out for. If you press Alt, you can see the boxes of every camp, and you walk down next. We'll look at the boxes. But yeah, if you stand in that box at the minute mark, so at any time that ends in 00, that's when the creeps spawn. If you're there in that box at that time, the creeps will not spawn. So you kind of don't want to be there. So just kind of wandering now. We're doing a little bit of a push mid. Again, I would be a little bit closer so you can cast abilities if need be. Right? That's good. So you could have actually swapped out. You could use your swap there to swap out Andy, or you could swap in someone else defensively. But swap is actually a really difficult ability to use because you can really kind of fuck up your own team if you do it wrong. So I understand why it's a little bit like nerve-wracking to use. Like a stun's a stun, minus armor is minus armor, but the swap, it's like a repositioning tool. Another base it.
But not mine.
So yeah, because you're not around these fights, you're really missing out on a lot of levels. You're way under leveled compared to even their position 5 hero, who's the Shadow Demon here. Just trying to go a little fast through this kind of boring part of the game. Apologies for how loud it is, but she attacks really loudly. So this is kind of our biggest advantage in the game. This is like time where we have like the best chance of like getting some shit done. But at this point, you're such a low level that anyone who dies around you will give you a shit ton of experience. The only thing about that death in particular is I would have said if you place this ward up here, it gives you way better vision because this is uphill. I can't believe I died to that. Put the ward up here, gives you uphill vision. They ended up placing a sentry ward because they're worried that we warded, so your ward did avoid that. But it kind of doesn't give us a lot of information. All it tells us is if they're walking into their jungle here.
Killing spree.
So this is another one where aggressive TP, like, if the fight's already over, there's no point in going in. This was unfortunately kind of the beginning of the end for us because I died, then we all wiped. Little unfortunate turn of events there. It kind of gets into the just doldrums of defending high ground for a hot minute now. Where are you? Yeah. So again, that death just a little bit too far forward with no vision. We check. See, we got 2 wards in stock, 8 sentries in stock. This is another one of those where it's like, alright, live and learn, gotta be a bit more defensive when we don't have the vision. I will also say for definitely the last time, when you respawn, just make sure that there's a little sound, like a little jingle that plays. So when you respawn, make sure that you're just getting out there. I mean, you could be a couple levels higher at least, just from like being around some of these fights, being in lane a little bit longer. Once you're behind a Dota, it becomes really, really hard to get out from being behind. How do you even die there? Okay. So we got the Earthshaker here. He jumped in and ult. So I would say at that time, what you could have done, we'll just go over that one more time. So you've got basically all your abilities up here. If you press stun on the Earthshaker there, then he's not able to keep comboing you guys. And basically, Mitch should be able to just kill him at that point. But because he didn't get stunned, right? It was kind of like, oh fuck, we lost out on 175 damage, we lost out on a 1.6 second stun.
Dire's bottom tower is under siege.
Yeah, so again, this is part of it is the low level, you blow up really instantly, but there are a lot of things there. Casting your magic wand, that's really important. I mean, it's got 20 charges, so that's a solid 300 HP, right? That's like a quarter of your HP right there. Glimmer Cape, you double tap to cast it on yourself, gives you invis. These are kind of things where it's like, the more you play, the more you get used to the items, the better it'll be, but just something to think about as you go. I think we'll speed up again.
From downwind.
Running around, having a good time. At this point, I'd just be throwing wave of terror up on the waves. You see the heroes, you back off, learning from your mistakes, that's awesome.
Empowers me.
Watching Mitch hit creeps. I don't know what he's doing there.
Hello, this is Gabe.
It was your own
Thanks for
damn
playing.
Big fight up top, that was where
Double kill.
that was where Andy was
Dominating
like, I'm gonna do
performance.
something really dumb, and I was like, I'm fucking 100% down. And unfortunately it was really dumb because Sniper had a Satanic, which allowed him to heal. If we had killed him there, it would have been very cool. So at this point, if I were you, I'd be going down bottom, right? That's where the waves most push in, right? You can throw some waves of Terra out and just push that all the way back out. Really free. We've got some vision in the jungle. We got ward here, right? It means if they come through the jungle, we kind of see that. But yeah, the fact you don't need to be at full health, you don't need to be at full mana the whole time. It's no problem. So he would go for a high ground defense. I think I'm gonna slow that down a little bit. So Earthshaker comes in. Now I would lead him with the stun there, right? If you stun him there, Mick is able to hit him like the whole time. See that stun? It kind of, we do get him, which is awesome, but it puts you like way further back, and you end up getting killed for it. If you kept the fight back here, right, you're able to hopefully kill the Earthshaker, or at least do a lot of damage to him without having to like push out. Now we're kind of ratting top here, which is fine.
Dominating, I guess. Hello, this is Gabe.
But,
Mega Kill. Thanks for playing Dota 2. More than 2 kills, double but kill. Less than 4 kills.
Yeah, at this point on, it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, we push out, fight, die, but I think the main things that you want to think about is making sure that you're always buying the wards, making sure that you're moving upon respawn, and just making sure that you're kind of cognizantly thinking like, what do I want to be doing? Like, do I want to be hanging out with my carry? Nice fucking BKB. Do I want to be hanging with my carry? Do I want to be helping somebody else? Like, are there things I could be doing, right? And knowing what things to do is the kind of thing that doesn't really come that easily, because you gotta have like a lot of experience. If we pussied out there, we should have just taken the whole bit of Rex. But, yeah, not gonna harp on for another 45 minutes because the game's only halfway over. Lol. But just a few things to think about, just a little bit. Watching your own play, in my opinion, is a great way to learn. So watching replays is always good. But I mentioned pro. But just a couple positioning things, laning things. Jungle pulling will come next time. Lol. But yeah, hope you learned a little something, and look forward to playing with you again.